What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the virtual mechanic. And today we're in the auction house, the yard behind the auction house, checking out some very dodgy broken cars, some we can't buy. There's a lovely Bugatti over there. That would be awesome. We've got old school Nissans everywhere, a lovely little Mercedes, but none of these are here. The car we have come to check out. The car we are looking at today is this beautiful Honda Civic. This is the 6th gen Honda Civic. This is a mod by Multiply, available on his Patreon. It is absolutely fantastic. Look how cool it is. It's a retro box. I'm not going to say the word because I decided that I won't swear on my YouTube channel, so I won't say it, but I think you all knew what I meant there. Let's jump in and have a quick look at this through the status. As you can see, this is the 1998 Honda Civic 6th gen, and it's the LS 1.5 single overhead valve VTEC E 95 to 98 Civic we've gone for, with over 200,000 kilometers on it. You can pick this one up from the barn, junkyard, or the auction house. Obviously, we're in the auction house right now. We don't really know much about it, apart from the fact that it's got the i4 single overhead cam APT engine in it. That's fine, yeah. I was just checking it didn't say something else. So we could keep that one in. We could swap it to the inline-4 turbocharged. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this one today. I probably will swap it for that turbocharged one, but it depends how things fit out. But first of all, we've got to win this auction. We don't really know much about the car, so let's just get on with it and let's start the bidding, shall we? In we go. Let's get going. Placing our first bid. Who have we got? Who's going to beat me? I hope nobody. Pac-Man's in there. K3's in there. Kobe the Koala's in there as well, but I'm currently winning. K3 back up there trying to take it from me. All of you trying to take it from me. Stop being so rude. I need this car to make a video. Let's get on with it. We're winning. Oh, we didn't quite win. Caleb there taking it away from us. Pac-Man again. Leave me alone, Pac-Man. But there we go. We have won the 6th gen beautiful Civic. Let's get this back to the garage. Let's start working on this little beast. We've got to get it clean, and then we've got to get this one stripped down. But before we finish today's video, we are going to take our beautiful 6th gen Honda Civic down the drag strip. Will it be able to keep up with whatever class we end up finishing this one in? We'll find out once we get it swapped to that turbocharged engine. So there we are. We're back at the garage. She's all clean. She's had her engine pulled out. She is ready to go. Now let's have a look. What was one of our swap options? The i4 double overhead cam turbocharged. So I feel like that's what we're going to go buy for this little Civic today. So let's get in here. We use TK Basics as one of our mods. So I can press Z on my keyboard and scroll through some options on here to buy pre-built engines. So that's what we're going to do with one of these tuned engines. Now I just need to make sure I buy the right engine. That's the i3 version. I need the i4 version. I'm hoping it doesn't have a name change. It shouldn't do. i4 double overhead cam turbocharged. So that's what we're going to put in this one. So let's spend quite a considerable amount of money, 15,000 on this engine. There we go. All bought. Nice and easy. But I'm not going to put it in the car yet. First of all, let's put it on the stand and take a look at it. I'm trying to see what things aren't going to line up, like what is going to look absolutely horrendous by the time we throw this in the car. But the exhaust placement doesn't necessarily look too bad. I do think we should maybe place this in the car, actually. So let's have a quick look at that. Off the stand we come, and let's get it in the car. Here we go then, a moment of truth. Let's put you in, and then let's see how bad it looks. In all honesty, is it going to look bad? It doesn't look too bad as it stands at the moment, but the important thing is whether or not the exhaust and stuff lines up. It doesn't quite, but the other engine was already missing a little bit like that anyway, so I'm hoping that this will be absolutely fine when we come to put it back together. The other engine already did have a little bit of mismatch on here. This is still a work in progress, I believe, by Multiply. I'm not 100% sure on that, but a little bit of exhaust mismatch, we can live with that. I'm not going to leave it in there for now. We are going to take it out because we've got some stuff to do later anyway. But for the time being, let's put this crane away and let's see what's going on in the engine bay. It rhymes, so it works. We're sticking with it. I don't think we've got much missing from this. Obviously, the engine and the front wheels and stuff that I've already pulled out. But I believe everything else is in there. It is all looking complete. We've got all the bushings. Now, I know we're going to replace all the bushings anyway. But as you saw in my last Car Mechanic Simulator video, I like to have everything in my inventory and then I can go buy it from there, which I find very helpful. But there we go. So it doesn't look like we're missing anything from this one, front and rear. If we just get down the back there, you can see obviously this is a front wheel drive, no rear connections on here. And the exhaust does clip just a little bit with that rear subframe, but it's all right. We can live with that. We've got all the pieces though. It means we just need to replace what we need to replace and buy what we need to buy. But before we can do that, we need to get the liquid drained out. And we do have all 4 liquid containers, so we do need to get all of it drained out. So I'm going to go into normal mode, additional tools, drain tool, and then click on hold whichever container you want the liquids to drain from. You know the drill by now. I'm going to get the rest of this out. We'll come back in just a minute with all the suspension stripped out, and we'll be working on the bodywork for this beautiful little Honda Civic, ready to put in that turbocharged engine, get this one on the drag strip, and see what this front wheel drive little box can do. That's everything for our little Civic, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, apart from a few things, and that is some suspension pieces. And I want to tell you the reason why. If we jump into the shop, I'm already looking at it. With the TK Aftermarket version 0.8 or above, you get lowering stuff for your cars, so you can lower them without going into the car editor, or raise them if you want to do so. 2-inch lift there, 2.5-inch drop, 1.25-inch drop here. I think we're just going to try with the 1.25-inch drop today, because I've not actually played with any of this stuff yet, so I don't know how it all works. I've got everything we need for the suspension. Obviously, we've got to sort out the bodywork, but I want to try and see what these kits do. So let's get in building. So first of all, this side here, if we look at, if I just go to here, you can see sort of like the outline of where the wheel is. It is pretty nicely tucked, but the wheels themselves are quite large. I'll go over to here. They're only a 15-inch rim, but they've got quite a lot of surface area on them. So, you know, this one here, 55-inch, that's quite a big tyre wall. So I'm thinking if I go up to 16, but bring the tyre wall down to like maybe a 35, that should give us plenty enough space to have a bit of a lift in there. We're obviously going to have to figure this one out as we go. So I'm going to try and start doing this lift. So first off, we need to go and buy some stuff. So I need 2 of these lowering springs here, 1.25-inch or 1.25-inch springs there. I need the shocks that go with them, and that's these ones here. We'll go with the front struts as well. Why not? And then at the back, we want to do the same thing. Oh, there's a lot of options on here. I don't know which one I need. I have still got it in my shop. If I go back to the normal mode and go rear multi-link coil spring, so it's the multi-link one I want. Back into here, back into there, rear multi-link 1.2-inch drop. We'll go for 2 of them as well. The rest of the spring setup is the same. I do think we need one of these as well, though, or some of these. I can't remember if I already bought them, so let's go check out our shop. Did I already buy the rear shocks? I did already buy the rear shocks, so that's all right. So now we've got the rear springs. We should have all the caps and everything. So let's just give this a go. I'm gonna pop these springs on. I already bought front mounts. I didn't need them. That looks odd. I don't think that's meant to be how that looks, but as long as it stays together, I'm hoping it will be all right. So what we're going to do is, weirdly, I'm going to put this back up in the air. I'm going to start getting loads of the suspension back in, and I'll bring you back when we come to look at the springs and stuff. Obviously, you don't want to watch me just sit here and put loads of unpainted items in, just so we can check out where the shock sits and if it sits with the wheel lower. So I'm going to have to get loads of stuff on. So I'll do that, and I'll bring you back in just a minute. Well, there we have it, the lowering kit from TK Aftermarket. Only a little bit lowering on there, but you can see if I put it up on screen, I'll try to get to a place where we could see like maybe both rear wheels. I know I got a good angle here looking at it in the car in one of the shots. So I'll grab a screenshot roughly around this position. I'll pin it above it, and you'll be able to see on screen the difference in the lift. But I will say, once I installed it all, I did have to then reload it, you know, save the game and reload with the new stuff on, and that's when it took effect. When I originally did it, these caps on the top didn't quite make it down to this spring at level, but now obviously it has, and we can see, well, I can see, hopefully you can see from the images that the car is definitely lowered, and the front springs, well, they just came out like they did anyway. I did put normal sway bar end links on it. There are some aftermarket ones you could have used, but every time I've used them so far, they seem to go a slight bit wrong. But the wheels are definitely more tucked inside the well, which is what I wanted, so I could hopefully increase the rim size, bring the rubber size just down ever so slightly. Obviously, I did have to put the engine in, so that is all in and ready to go. But it is looking fantastic in its slightly lowered state. I'm really enjoying this. And also, while I'm here, I said at the beginning, this is on Multy's Patreon. There is a link in the description below. Make sure to go check it out. I think there's 3 different Civics on there. And also, while you're over there, the Caddy, the Volkswagen Caddy and the Volkswagen Golf, both Mark 1s, are now available for free for everybody. So you don't even need to pay. You just need to sign up at the free level to get the Caddy and the Golf. Probably a few other little bits as well. But if you want the Civics, all 3 of them, we will be covering them shortly on this channel as we go. Starting with this one here, which is the Gen 6. But if you want all 3, you have to pay. I'm not sure what the cost is, but just make sure you sign up at the correct level if you want to play around with some Civics and some many other cool stuff on there as well. There's some body kits for the Nissan Silvias, some body kits for some law cars, the Mayan N3, I believe, a few things like that. There's definitely some cool stuff on there, so make sure you go and check it out. But now back to our little beast. I mean, I know I now finished it all. I'm not happy with how the suspension looks. I mean, I'm not happy with the knuckles being in silver. I guess we could leave it. You're not really going to see it, are you? I'll see how we go later on, depending on what I do with colours on this one, as to whether I want to change something. I'm also already using purple bushings. I probably am going to change the springs because I don't like the yellow colour. It looks a bit lame. Same at the back there. But the rest of it's all looking pretty good in black and purple. So that may be the colour scheme we go with. But we know we're not keeping the engine in there. And honestly, I'm going to get all of this stripped back off. Am I? Nah, I'll tell you what, we'll leave all the suspension on. I'll take the engine out, and what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the bodywork. I don't even think I'm going to take the engine out so I can keep the wheels on, just so I can see it at this lowered height. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy there is a way to do this in-game without having to go in the car editor, lowering it down. So well done, TK Aftermarket. Available on Nexus. You will need Melon Loader, and make sure to download the correct one. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is, but read the instructions. Everything you need to know is on there. But there we go. I'm going to crack on. Before we do crack on, though, we do need to fix this bodywork up. Let's see. I mean, it's in bad condition. Frames at 38%. We bought the car for 16,000 already to profit with the new engine. That's what we like to see. So we've got a little bit of work cut out us on there. I don't think it's going to be too expensive. Maybe a classic 1,500. 600. Way off on that. But before we jump in to start repairing everything, let's go and have a look at what we can get with our 6th gen Honda Civic. Lots of options. We've got dashboard options for the dials. That's cool. Probably going to go for this one here with a bit of blue. That's almost to the purpley level that we're kind of looking at. Plenty of front bumper options. We've got loads of stuff on there. Also the front grille, one with a little lip. A few with a little lip, lots with a little lip, and one without a picture. A couple of door options, I'm not sure what they are. A couple of fender options, I'm assuming like one of these is wide body and stuff like that. I mean, there's 5 pages. You've got some cool stuff on here. A couple of different hood options or bonnet options if you are from the UK. Headlight options, I like these. Probably what we're going to go with on there. Mirror options, I'm unsure. We'll see how the car looks. 2 tail lights, one with the yellow indicators, one with clear indicators, so I'll see what we feel like on them. Plenty of rear bumper options, fender options, and more headlights, and then we've got some trunk, one with a big old wing. That's what we like to see. Mirror options with a few smaller mirror options. I meant to say window options, windshield options with the roll cage if you want that one, or just the sun strip, which is probably what we're going for. I'm not big on roll cages. And obviously, so the trunk comes with the spoiler, then the rear window, good trunk window, whatever, can also come with a little spoiler. I don't know whether we'll go for a big spoiler or not. We'll see how everything turns out. But let's start stripping everything off first. Let's make sure we find absolutely everything with all our stuff still in there. Out you come, off you come with the headlights. We've got that, the windshield, off you come. Door and mirror and window. Door, mirror. Oh, that was just a mirror. Door, mirror, and window there. Let's put you away so you're not blocking me. Body window out you come, and then we do have a little bit of a trunk on a spoiler on the trunk at the moment, but we're probably not going to keep that. Yellow tail lights, a little bit of the shocks breaking through into the body there, probably because we lowered it, if we're being truly honest. So that's on us, not on Multiply. What else have we got? Body window there, and then there it is. Car part 2 hiding in there. Is there anything else? I don't remember seeing anything else. It's just the seats, I think. So we will take them out just because we are here. Out with these front seats. They're quite nice seats. Probably not what we're going to stick with, though. So out with them. And let's just double check this. Frames at 100%. Interiors at 25. Body is still at 3. So we are missing something. Oh, it's the trim. Obviously, like the side skirt bits. Can't believe I totally missed them. But glad I rectified myself instantly. There we go. Now the body is down to 1%. So there should be nothing on it. But I do think we should go in here and just double check. Although it's really hard with lots of stuff still on it. Oh yeah, wheels and tyres haven't been replaced, but everything else, as you can see up through here, has been replaced. So we want to look at the dodgy stuff. Tyre, rim, tyre, rim, tyre. So that means all of the bodywork stuff should be down here because none of it was fixed. So I would say that's everything stripped off. I got a little bit of work left ahead of us, but I absolutely love the fact that we can lower this down. It is so cool. I've been away for so long, so most of you already probably know this and are already probably using it day in, day out. I'm just the idiot who got left behind because I did. But there we go. Suspension lowering does work. I'm assuming the 2-inch lift kit does work as well. Probably, again, you have to save the game and then reload it or go back to main menu and load back in, whichever way you want to do it. Works that way, but it's so much cooler that it is just that little bit lower. I'm so glad that we can do this. Absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to go decide what we need to do for this beautiful bodywork, and then once we finish that, it's time to get this beast into the paint booth. I think I've picked everything I want for this beautiful little Civic, and let's just get started over this side. We jump into here with car part 2, which is, I did go with the blue and white, and I think it looks more beautiful inside the car than it does from the little thumbnail we've got there. I love that in the blue, and it makes me think maybe we're going to keep a blue, bit darker blue, I think, than what's on the body right now, but we'll maybe keep a bit of blue on there because it looks pretty good. But we haven't decided anything to do with colouring yet, so let's just get started. The front bumper I've gone for is bumper G on there. Now, there are a few different like facelift variants, I guess. Not everything fits together, and obviously with our shop wise, that's not the right button. If I jump into the shop and go over to here, where are you? For example, this one here, I believe, is the front end that came on it. If you look, you've got to try and sort of match them up. I tried putting, I think, this one on first, but it didn't like it. I know this is totally different, but we're going to use a different front end. So that's the one I've gone for, but some of them might not fit the way you think they're going to fit. Headlights poke out a little bit more, and the same is with these fenders, such as B and C, are both the same, obviously from around here, but if you look at that little tick out there, that's just got a little bit more of a tick, so that's got to go somewhere for some different lights, maybe. I didn't really check fitment of the lights. I did go for these, but they seem to fit quite well with all the stuff I've gone with. You can tell me if you think it looks bad anyway. We'll come to that as we come. I did go for the light F, as I said. We'll pop them on there and pop them on there. Looking very good. Now, with this particular engine setup, I couldn't use the sloped down hood. I will say, if we go back onto the hoods, or bonnets, as I should be calling them, these two are very similar, but this one pokes out a little bit further to use with the other bumpers. Now, you are just going to have to figure these out yourself as you go. I couldn't use this one, which I did want to use because, well, the oil cap from the engine poked up through. So we could have changed our oil without opening the bonnet, but it's not what I was going to go for, so I just went with the standard one on there. For the front end, I just went for the little bit of mesh, which is front end K, because it fits this bumper absolutely perfectly, in my opinion. Absolutely love that. I think it looks fantastic. For the windshield, I did just go with the one with the sun strip. It does also have a sunroof in there. I don't know if that's by design, but obviously this car doesn't have a sunroof, so it disappears. On with the fenders, we did go for the B fenders. The only difference between the B and the standard fenders is the little light there is cleared out, but you still get the orange bulb inside, looking quite nice. On you go. Same on the other side. There is a wide body, but we're not going for wide body. We're slamming this one, although I have gone for an aftermarket front bumper, but I have also gone for the aftermarket side skirts. I've gone for the side skirt C's. It started with the B's. They just add a little bit more to it. It doesn't take it too far away from the body, just almost gives it a step down, both at the front and at the back there, and I quite like it. It doesn't look out of place or anything like that. Back up here we go for the rear bumper. Again, tuned one. I went for the bumper D. I think it looks quite good on there. Buffs it out quite enough without making it wide body and stuff like that. We didn't have to mess around with anything. It is looking cool on there. For the trunk, I went with trunk option B. This one gives you this little spoiler. It's the same as A, but it gets a little spoiler down here. And then for the trunk window, I went with option B, which also gives you the spoiler up here. Quite matching spoilers, I think. So we've got double spoilers. You can tell it's an aftermarket slash tuned car. Body window is just the body window. We'll throw them in nice and easy. And I did go with the cleared tail lights on there. As you can see, there you go, and there you go. And a blank license plate just to get us going for the time being. Now, the doors. There are two options for the doors. The only difference is, I haven't got one. I'll just pin it on. The other door here has a manual wiper. So this one's got electric wiper? Wiper's not the word I was looking for. Window winder, whatever you want to call it. Electric windows in this one here, but the other one, these are the Bs. The As, or the standard doors, have manual hand windy windows if you wanted them instead. Just get the windows in. There you go, there you go. Back around this side to finish off this side skirt. On you go there. And then for the mirrors, I went with the D option. I just think they look most aftermarket and sort of fit this car quite well. Looking very good. I think that's all of the body. So for now, we just need to go in and throw some seats in. I'll do my steering wheel first. I've gone for the classic Virtual Mechanic steering wheel. You know me by now. Do love a bit of Virtual Mechanic steering wheel, being the Virtual Mechanic. And for the seats, you can tell they're not standard. This actually comes from Payne's Patreon, but from his Mustang. So if you've got the Mustang and you've installed it all correctly, you should have all of these cool seats. In fact, I think these seats might come with TK Aftermarket. I'm not sure now. I know it's for the Mustang from Payne's Patreon, but I am now using them in our beautiful Civic. They are looking fantastic. They fit really well. There is a slight bit from the standard. You will never notice it unless you do what I'm doing here and go into photo mode. As you can see, they technically float. So, added suspension in the seats there. You know, if they're floating, you're not going to feel any of the bumps, are they? But there we go. Let's just double check. We've got everything. 100%, 100%, 100%. Parts are still at 78, even though we've got most things in there. Oh, I haven't got any of the engine-based stuff in. Okay, that's why. I've got the engine and stuff in, but we are going to have to pull that one out shortly because we've got some stuff to do with the wheels anyway. So I'm going to get the wheels taken back off. I'm going to leave all the suspension. I quite like it with the purple bushings. I'm going to leave it as it is. Maybe we'll do the brake calipers to a purple or something else that matches the car later on. But who knows? I might pick a totally different colour and then want to change the bushings anyway. So we'll see from there. Definitely going to do a little bit of colour on this engine. Not sure yet what yet. Probably getting rid of the red and changing that for purple, unless we decide to keep the red and go for a red and something build, but we shall see. That's it for the time being. It's still got its old wheels on. We need to sort them out a little bit later on, but for now, let's get this beast into the paint shop. Let's pick some lovely colours and see if there are any liveries with the beautiful 6th gen Honda Civic. Well, here we are then with our beautiful little Civic in the paint shop. I quite like this mixed colour, I'm not going to lie. Well, I don't like how it pops through in a few places. But anyway, first things first, let's check out some liveries. Oh, it does look... That blue is nice though, isn't it? No, it's not what we're going for. It doesn't match our dials or our purple we've got going on so far. We'll see. Slot number 1 is the perfect blue. Is that the... That is literally going to be the perfect blue, isn't it? Okay. I've still got to match the blue so that the underside will match as well. I don't know what it is. There's an ever so slight shift in the colour difference, but I think we've got it with this one here. 230, 80, 80 is what I'm matching as close as I can get it. There's very little change in these two as I scroll backwards and forwards across them. Ever so slight little bit of lightness just in there. Difference. That's the only bit I can see, but that's what I'm going to go with. Let's just carry on through 238. I'm going to remember that in case we don't decide to stick with the livery blue anyway. And if we go across one more, that gives us the plastic trim in black. Do I want that? My dog's barking. I apologise if you can hear that. Someone's obviously just walked past our house casually, you know, going home themselves. That doesn't... Do I want the plastic trim? Painted, that is. I don't think I do. I think I want it all body colour, which is weird for me. Or do we do the blue and then make it white underneath, because we have got white interior and we are going to be using a bit of white. Is that made the engine bay white? Maybe the engine bay white is too much. No, I think we should stick with the blue. 80, 80. I'm going to keep the purple on the shop bushings and everything like that, and I'm probably going to try and add a bit of purple to the engine bay as well. I think this is the color we're going to go for. Maybe, yeah, no, this is the color we're going to go for. I'm liking this. White rims by the time we finish these off. White seats. I might try and add a bit of purple to the seats if I can, but obviously we've got the blue dials in there, looking absolutely fantastic with the white lettering on. This is going to look good. I'm already liking this. Maybe a little bit of white to that engine bay as well, just to really finish it off. But this is what we're going for with the blue. We do want to get some bolts on here. Screw painting. Rims are going to be white, so I want to do all screws but not rims. Do I want to go blue or white? I think I just want to go white. I think we'll go white on the screws. And then I'm going to leave everything else. Rims I don't want because they're going to be white anyway. So let's get that painted. He says nervous because it looks nice. The Civic blue is nice, I'm not going to lie. We open that one up here, and if we just jump into photo mode real quickly, go and check out our lovely white bolts. They're not looking overly white, but, you know, they've got a bit more character, a bit more definition about them, as we are going to be adding a bit of colour to this engine bay anyway. Probably changing most of the red stuff, at least attempting to a white. No, to a purple, sorry, and then probably try and get some white on this engine cover if we can make it look good. We will see if we can make it look good. We've obviously got all of that to go ahead of us. So I'm going to try and paint a few extra bits, make it look as cool as I can, and we'll bring it back on the lifter in just a minute, and we'll get this beautiful Civic all finished off, do a dyno run, and then get on the drag strip with our front wheel drive little box. You all know what I mean by that one. Well, we got everything on our beautiful Civic all finished off. We'll cover everything that's changed in just a minute, but before we go there, I need to jump up here because we've changed our shop website. It is now vm-shop.44.com. Not as long as it used to be, virtualmechanic-shop.44.com. Looking pretty fantastic. We've also got some new stuff on there. We've got our new circular logo VM on the hat there. Multiple different colours available, like black and orange peaks, grey and different stuff like that. Check them all out on the shop. This one at the back has got the classic Virtual Mechanic logo just there above at the back there, and then we've got an off-center one as well with the same print on the back. Again, multiple colors available. And then over to this side, we've got a new text Virtual Mechanic logo, which I absolutely really like. I think it gives it a bit of a retro vibe, retro feel, and I'm liking that one. Again, multiple colors available. This one doesn't have anything on the back, just that printing on the front there. And an update to one of our hoodies. This was a hoodie that was available with the neon glow logo on the back there. A little bit glowy. It looks better when it's actually there. But now we've put a circle VM logo on the front, and it says @virtual_mechanic down the arm, which is my YouTube tag. And also we've got all of these lovely shiny notebooks available in multiple different colours, all with that Audi R8 logo on the floor, design on the front there, looking fantastic. And we still obviously have all our Car Mechanic Simulator merch over there as well, so go check it all out. If you know someone is a fan of this channel and you think they might want some Car Mechanic Simulator merch or some Virtual Mechanic merch, head over there. Links in the description below, obviously on screen, and I'll try and put a little tag box somewhere where you can just click it and go. But there we go, that's that covered. Now back to our beautiful little Civic, and as you can see, we've tinted all the windows, and I've also tinted these rear tail lights, smoking them out a little bit, and it makes this bit stand out more of a white, which I quite like. I didn't do any other lights with the tinting. I could have smoked this and got rid of the orange indicator bulb, but because we've got a bit of orange reflection on our side lights, I thought we'd keep them as they are, so it's all looking pretty good in there. These seats, I know I said I was going to leave them white and put some purple on them, but I managed to get this blue on there, and it looks absolutely fantastic on these seats with the white stitching, the Recaro badge. Then you've got the white mesh bit in the middle with a matte blue going all the way around the rest of it, and a little bit of blue striping around the edge as well. I think that looks beautiful. We also put a tiny bit of blue on the steering wheel, matching in with that dashboard. I do think it all looks good. The other thing I did drop is I said I bought the purple bushings, and then I changed my mind and went and bought loads of blue bushings and replaced all of the bushings with blue ones in there, all looking quite nice. These are still the McPherson shocks, but they're just painted white now, and the rear shocks have got blue and white on them. And I did a natural finish blue on the Brumbo brakes, which puts the logo in that blue and a little blue details and makes it look a burgundy red, a deep red, I would say, but it's so dark that it kind of looks like black, and I really like how that logo's turned out on there. It looks fantastic. A few little bits in the engine bay painted, mostly in a white, little bit of blue around here. Did that container in a black, so it sort of looks like the power steering reservoir, and this one's hidden down below, so you can't see it anyway, but it's looking pretty good in there. Down to the back we go. As you can see, it's sort of relatively the same. A few splashes of blue and white in there, mostly just its natural finish, with all this black stuff going on down here, all looking pretty good, and a white exhaust front to back. But we've got a few bits to go. We've got to get that engine in there, obviously, and the engine bay's looking quite nice. We've got blue clips on the white air intake on there. I quite like it, and a lot of stuff underneath that wasn't painted. Already have the engine in my pocket, as it were, so let's just get that one dropped in and ready to go for this beautiful Civic. In you go. I have done a bit of colouring on it, but nothing special, but I quite like how it's turned out. We did the cover on the top there in a blue. Obviously, we did our white bolts earlier, with obviously our ignition coils all in a white on there, and just a little splash of white. We took the red out of our throttle body there, made it white and blue, and we also took the red out of our fuel filter, made that one blue as well. And we've also got blue of these I can't remember what these bits down here are called. Fuel injectors, there we go. And obviously white on the fuel rail and then blue on the top. And that's pretty much it for in there. Actually, one more thing to go. Our turbo needs to go in a minute, so we can't do that anyway. So let's get underneath and get this engine finished off. And then I've just got to top some liquids up, and we can get this beautiful Civic dynoed and on to the drag strip. Let's just get it all finished, starting with our lovely little gearbox there, our tuned aftermarket gearbox, looking very nice. And we've also got our drive shaft and our front drive axles to go in as well, so we'll get them in while we're here. Over you go, and thank you. Over you go to there. Oh yeah, the front exhaust section, and then the rest of it's inside the engine bay. This bit's white and blue. I think it looks fantastic. The rest of it's from the engine bay. So back down you come. I think I've put everything in. Just the turbo and starter to go, and obviously our wheels. So you had a look at them. We spin around here. We can put the turbo in the back, which is in a blue, just because I wanted it to feel a little bit different, a little bit more upmarket, as it were. Around to the other side, I didn't do anything with the starter. We just left that one as it is. Also, we did the radiator in white, the housing in a natural finish blue. I didn't force override it, so it's not bright blue. It's very dark, and a white fan on there as well, just to finish that off. And I think that's everything apart from the wheels. Rims, tyres, rims and tyres. There we go. So we can close that hood down. I need to obviously top up the liquids, but let's get on and get these wheels on. I've gone for today the Rim 3. As you can see there, I've still got the old ones. I need to get rid of them. The front wheels, here we go, are a 17-inch rim, a 35 profile and 205 width down the back there. They fit in really nicely. I'm just going to put this one on quickly and then step out so you can see how nice that fitment is with it being lowered and everything like that. It's looking pretty good in there. Quite pleased with that. And then down at the back, it's a slightly bigger tyre. The rim itself is still 17-inch rim. Still got a 35 profile, but it's just that little bit wider at 215. Although this is front-wheel drive, I just wanted it to poke out enough into the side of the body. If we come out of there, it's pretty much flush on there, as you can see. I'm absolutely liking the fitment, especially with this car lowered down. It looks fantastic. Loving this, and I am loving TK Aftermarket being able to make it so we can lift or lower cars. Now, I've only gone for the small lift on here, but it's made a hell of a difference to this car. So it's making me want to go back and do some of like the DLC cars that I always thought were way too high off the ground and could do with a little lift kit. So if you've got any suggestions for some DLC cars that don't necessarily need a custom or want to be made a custom config, but if we could just lower them a little bit better, that would be absolutely awesome. But there is our finished Civic. We're just going to do a license plate for it. I haven't figured out what we're going to call it yet. It's probably just going to say Civic on there, to be honest. Gen 6 or something like that. I'm not sure, but I am loving this beautiful little car. It is absolutely fantastic in this blue. The blue is beautiful with the white rims, and then no real detail on the bodywork, just a lot of blue. Could have put these stripe bits here in black, or the plastic bits in black along with your door handles, but I do like the solid full blue we've got going on there. It is looking very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Excellent work by Multiply. As I said, this is available on his Patreon. Go and grab it for yourself if you want it. It is absolutely incredible. Who doesn't love a little Civic? box. Again, not going to say it. But there we go. I'm going to get the liquids topped up. We'll get it outside in the sun, get a plate on it, and then it's into the dyno before we go drag racing. The front of my garage is effectively right now just a advertisement for Multy's Patreon, even though the Caddy and the Volkswagen are both free. If you sign up for the free level, you can get both the Mark 1 Golf and the Mark 1 Caddy to play with. Go check out that video if you haven't already. But now this one, I believe, is from a paid area, so if you grab this one yourself, you can. You just have to sign up to his Patreon at the specified level. I am unsure what it is, but go check it out for yourself. The link is in the description below. Let's get our license plate on our beautiful little Civic. And I realised, I said I didn't know what I was going to put on this plate, but I've been calling this car this all day, so let's put it on. It is the 5H1T box. You all know what that means. Let's just leave it at that. Absolutely fantastic from the little Civic. Liquids are all topped up. Let's jump inside this interior one more time. Looking beautiful. You've even got the R-type mats on the floor there. Again, looking fantastic. But let's get this one started. No radio. Our radio's been stolen. We could do with a radio in this one. But anyway, let's get it started. See what she sounds like. We've all heard this car before, let's be honest. But let's give it some gas anyway. And hear that little bit of turbo whistle at the top end. Sounding fantastic. Enough of that. Let's get this beast onto the dyno. See what its horsepower is. What its drag rating will be. And then it's onto the drag strip. Here we go then on the dyno. We did swap it to the i4 turbocharged engine at the beginning that has 180 horsepower from factory, but we did put a tuned engine in it, so how much will it have gone to in total and what would we have gained? Let's have a look. A gain of 193 horsepower, 107%, a whole new engine plus a little bit more just in performance parts, bringing us up to 372 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, but from a front wheel drive hatchback, that's going to be absolutely wild. It does put it in the A-class drag rating, but only 445, so quite low in the A-class category, but still probably going to be some quite hard competition. Hopefully not too bad, because we won't be at that top end. I have done a gearbox tune for today. Let's go and check that one out. I only moved this slider down from somewhere around here down to 3.33, just because that's the number I ended up on. That wasn't intentional. 59k in first gear up to a recorded 275k in fifth gear. Not sure we'll get there on the drag strip, but we'll find out. We do have a fully tuned stage 3 ECU, giving us 16% additional tuning. And if you struggle to tune these in any way, shape or form, there is a link just in the top right hand corner here showing you how to easily tune the ECUs every time without fail. It's also linked in the description below. It's a short video. It's less than a minute long. And if you want to learn how to do carbs, that one's also linked in the description below. But let's crack on. Let's get this beautiful little Civic over onto the drag strip. See what this front wheel drive box can do. Well, here we are then. We've made it to the drag strip with our tuned Honda Civic 6th generation, pumping out a whopping 372 horsepower. Let's get into it. King of the Sands, quarter of a mile, and we are in A-class. It starts at 401. We're only at 445. So a bit of a difficult start going on there, but let's jump in anyway and see who we've got. Pay our 1,000 entry fee. Who are we in with? Our first race, the brotherly match-off to end all match-offs. We've got the Eagle R Roadster Jaguar-based edition against the Honda Civic 6th generation tuned monster that I've created today. Absolutely fantastic. I love a starting a race against my younger but bigger brother. We've also got King Slowpoke in the Factory 5 Mark IV Roadster Shelby Cobra edition. Loving that one. Prop vehicle airboat in a Toyota Supra GR HKS kit. Who else have we got with us? Hopefully we beat Sam in the first one. I think that's all of it. I think these are all just generic names from there on in. What's happened here? Neither of them are either of them. That must have come from a previous... I don't know, that's weird. I've never seen that before. But anyway, let's jump in with our first race against my brother in the Eagle R Roadster. That Eagle R Roadster looking a pretty mean over there with its mohawk spikes on the roof. Are we going to be able to beat it in our beautiful little Honda Civic? I certainly hope so. I think that thing's going to be a little bit wild is what I'm imagining. Like if I was actually sat here pulling up to the drag strip in a tuned Honda Civic and that pulled up next to me, I'd be afraid. I'd be very, very afraid. But anyway, let's get on with it. Come on, you beautiful little Civic. We can beat it. Let's go off the line quickly into second gear, switching into third. Where are you? Oh, it's pulling away. Are we out in the first race? We might be out in the first race. I mean, I did think that was going to be quite hard to beat. No, there we go. Sadly, we have lost in our first race with our little Honda Civic 6th generation. going to be quite hard to beat that. I mean, it was way above us in the class, considering 45 is like the first 45 in, and that's 84. So yeah, that was going to be quite a challenge. But sadly, we have lost our first race. Also, my reaction time wasn't great. Would that have saved us? So we'll say about a 1.5 seconds difference. No, it wouldn't have quite saved us. That's a bit of a shame. But if I had a slightly better reaction time, we might have been in with more of a chance, even though I think we would have lost anyway. 11.355 seconds to the quarter of a mile is the only one we're going to get marked down at 206 kilometers an hour. That is the speed. I will tell you, before I did the gearbox tuning, that was around 11.6, 11.7. So we did quite well, shaving off a couple of hundredths of a second for the gearbox tune for this little Honda Civic. I can't believe we're out in the first round. I'm so disappointed. But anyway, let's get back to it. See who's going to take it on. We're lost to my brother. I'm so disappointed. I hope you go on and win now, Sam. Just Sam. Bear that in mind. Slowpoke sadly lost in the Shelby Cobra Factory 5, but prop vehicle airboat's still in. So let's get it through to the next round. Who's going to make it? My brother's out already. Oh, and so is prop vehicle airboat. So all of our friends have gone away. But who's going to take it into the final? It is the GTR Raid Edition Skyline. Absolutely fantastic. Against the Chevrolet Impala Resto mod. We'll get to that mod when we can. Who's going to take the win? It is that Raid Edition Skyline GTR R34 taking the win. We sadly didn't get any money at all, which is massively disappointed, but there we go. We lost out in £1,000, 1,000 credits, $1,000, 1,000 euros, 1,000 rupees, whatever you want to call it. We lost out on 1,000 of them because we did pay the entry fee, but I'm not including drag strip payments or winnings in my final figures anymore. It's just going to be what we spent getting the car ready for the drag strip, not including any fees to get there. So let's get back to the garage. Well, a bit of B-roll while I do an outro for this video, and I do hope you have enjoyed it. Well, there we have it, all 100% finished, our beautiful Honda Civic. I've loved this one. It's been absolutely fantastic. We swapped out the original engine for the turbocharged i4 and managed to take that from 180 to 372 horsepower, a gain of 170%, which is absolutely fantastic. We did get it onto the drag strip. We didn't do well in the tournament, let's be honest, but we got down the quarter of a mile, 11.355 seconds at 206 kilometers an hour, putting it 25th out of 37 on the quarter mile speederboard, which isn't too bad considering it's a small little hatchback front wheel drive without a insane engine in it or anything like that, and it's turbocharged, but it's not really insane. Last thing to cover though is what we paid for it. We bought the car for 16,148. We spent 62,295 on all the extra parts we needed to that engine and all the paintwork, putting the total spend on this beautiful little Civic at 78,443, and we have a sale price of 92,222, leaving us profit of 13,779, which is absolutely fantastic from this cheeky little Honda Civic box. You all know what I mean by that one. So it is what it is. I've enjoyed this today. I hope you have it too. Don't forget to leave a like if you did. Write down in the comments what you think of our beautiful little box, and if you want to, head on over to Multy's Patreon and sign up and become a member of his Patreon to get this absolutely beautiful Civic for yourself, along with a plethora of other Civics, the both the Volkswagens, the Type 1, the Type 1. No, that's not what I'm looking for. The Mark 1 Caddy and the Mark 1 Golf, all brilliant cars available by Multy on Patreon. And before we leave, I just want to say a big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you very much for sticking around. I'll put you on screen who you are. I appreciate every single one of you. You are all absolute legends. And if you want to become a channel member, I have two membership tiers now. I have the video fan tier at 99 pence a month, which is where you get early access to every single one of my videos the day before, if not earlier than that. It's normally the day before. So if I'm doing a video on Monday, you'll get to see it on Sunday, and my video on Thursday, you'll get to see it on Wednesday, that kind of thing. And if I do any other ones, they'll always be up the day before for the video fan members to watch. But if you really want to help me out, I have the VM Garage Club membership, which is £2.99 a month, which gives you access to all of the stuff from the first one, which is emojis and badges and stuff like that. Also member shout-outs in VM Garage Club. Also, it gives you access to all my custom configs and liveries. They're all normally sat across the back of the garage there. The the Volkswagen Type 1 pickup truck based off the Splitty camper. There we go. That Ford Mustang twin turbo you got in there, the Mazda RX Wing 7, the beautiful SECO, and obviously our Huna van. All of them are available with some other extras on there, all the liveries and things like that. So if you want access to all of that, hit the join button below, and make sure if you want the cars and configs and to come onto the Discord, that's the VM Garage Club membership. If you just want early access to the videos and emojis and badges and stuff like that, that is just the video fan level. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you've all had a wonderful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.